This short video introduces the world of digital tracking tools, which I'll admit that I'm pretty new to using myself. I really only have gotten into the habit of using a digital tracking tool this year, and it's 2024, 2025. I absolutely will continue to use digital tracking in large part because of the quality of the data that you can show your students. So let me describe to you the digital tracking tool that I use, and then you're going to engage in an activity where you look at, I believe, 4 different digital tracking tools. So I use a tool called Equity Maps, which annoyingly is an app that only works on an iPad. I believe the app costs $4. But once you have it going, I find that it is a really useful tool. And let me just show you in some pictures what it looks like. So this is what my screen looks like when I use Equity Maps. And so you can create your table, so to speak. You can set this all up in the app. I found it to be pretty intuitive. And when you're creating your table, you can assign, obviously, names, and crucially, you can assign genders, which, by the way, include male, female, and non-identifying. So once you've created your groups, the discussion begins. You literally click the start button, and you can have it record audio. I don't, but you can have it record audio. You as the teacher can do a bunch of moves. For example, like if there's a pair share, you can click pair share, and it knows that that's going on. If you're doing like a whip or something like that, like I would usually note that as chaos, just because there's not a whip tool. When I'm talking, I'll click teacher talk. And crucially, you think back to when I was showing you the paper trackers, and you think about that key where you're tracking down the kinds of things that people are saying. If you were to click on this, this check notes button, then it opens up a drop-down menu of the things that people are doing. And this is an example of what that looks like. These check notes there's a whole range of them that come pre-populated with these nice emojis right here. You can also create your own check notes, and I like to think of those as the things that are happening most commonly. You want one inside baseball tip. You don't want to create too many check notes because you need to be able to easily select them mid conversation. So like I think that this number that this model has is a good number, especially because it means that you don't have to scroll. You want to be able to click the check note button and immediately just see what's available and click it. I'll also add what I've been doing. I actually ended up buying a keyboard for the iPad. And if you're thinking like, wow, that's basically just a laptop. It is a laptop. I wish Equity Maps was available on Chromebooks or laptops. It's not, which is annoying. So I essentially made a laptop out of my iPad. Thank you, Roland Foundation. And what I've been doing a lot of is clicking notations, and then that gives you an opportunity to just type what you're seeing. So if there's something a little bit more ornate or something a little bit more sophisticated that's happening at the table that your check notes can't capture, you can just type them into notations. But again, I think that's, for me, I would only do that if I had a keyboard. If I have to type on the screen of the iPad, no thanks. So when you're done with your discussion in Equity Maps, you click Finish Meeting, and it generates a lot of data. Let me show you the screen for what it looks like in my class. So for example, this is just one screen of data. So let's see what it says for Emma. So this spits out how many times Emma spoke, how much she spoke, how frequently she did these check notes, and a timestamp and the thing that I saw her do at this point. Let's see what Whitley did. Yeah, so Whitley did a lot of really interesting things down here. Again, it shows the check notes, it shows the amount of time. And I show this, I mean, you can see this is posted on my Google Classroom. My students can all see this. This is all transparent. Equity maps also will show you things like the amount that men spoke, the amount that women spoke, non-binary people spoke. It'll show you, obviously, the kinds of check notes that happen the most frequently. So there's really a lot of data that is presented in a really, I find, beautiful way. Is it super intuitive to communicate that data with the students or share a file? That is a little complex, but I mean, you could also just put your document camera showing the iPad, and so kids can see. So I think Equity Maps is pretty cool. If you work at CVU and you're taking this class, you're certainly welcome to borrow one of the 2 iPads and keyboards that I bought with my grant, and you can use Equity Maps. So your activity is going to be to open this link here, and actually this blog post talks about the role of digital tracking and talks about this teacher's experience with a bunch of different digital trackers. So what I'm going to ask you to do is read this blog post, but also watch all of the intro videos. Dialogic is another tool that I've used. It's the only other of these tools that I've used. While I find Dialogic to be a little bit less comprehensive than Equity Maps, one of the great things about Dialogic is that it's just a website, and you can bring it up on any computer, and you can use it as you're tracking your students' discussion. You may notice on this blog post that all of a sudden this pop-up has come up. If you don't want to enter your email and name an organization and tell them you're not a robot, I don't blame you. Unfortunately, there's no X. No, it's still there. So as soon as you hit this T button, it shows up. What I notice is if you zoom out, it just, there's the X. Okay, so actually you can get rid of it. But if for whatever reason you're struggling with it, if you just zoom out, it goes away. So Dialogic, Parlay, something I haven't experienced yet. So those are digital trackers, and I hope you enjoy going over them, and I hope you enjoy experimenting with them.